Welcome back to another episode of the Tracy Take. Today, Ryan and I will be breaking down the New England Patriots Week 9 matchup against the Carolina Panthers. But before we get into that, make sure that you subscribe to our channel if you have not already. Hit the notification bell so you can see when we create new content. Like this video, comment on this video, and let us know your thoughts on how the game is going to go. And Ryan, let's get into it.
Let's do it.
So I watched the Carolina Panthers Falcons game last week as a Falcons fan. Uh,
I was there.
you were there, so you watched it as a fan of football.
Yeah.
The Panthers are kind of in a mess. I mean, that Falcons team, the Falcons should have beaten them. They gave away the ball and has had some bad turnovers, a missed field goal. There's a lot of opportunities for the Falcons to put up points. And even when Sam Darnold was in the game, that offense struggled against
hmm
a mediocre at best Falcons defense. And now they're going to be going up against the Patriots, who have their shit together. They
hmm
are they're an above average team. They're able to move the ball fairly effectively through both the run and the pass. I think New England's offense
Yeah,
is ranked.
last week's game was slightly misleading.
Well, no, but I'm just talking about looking at the statistics. You guys have picked up a lot in the run game
Yeah.
aspect. Damian Harris has really picked up. The same with the offensive line. And so I think that you guys are going to be able to utilize the run against an average team, and that's going to help out a lot because the Panthers their real major strength is their run defense. Even their pass defense, I think, is a little skewed based off where they're
Yeah.
ranked. But
Um,
as the Patriots fan, what are you kind of looking at going into this game, and who do you think is going to win?
well, the first thing that I notice is that Carolina's defense is really good.
Mm-hmm.
I think their offense, especially without Christian McCaffrey, kind of levels them out. Their offensive line is not good.
Mm-hmm.
And outside of DJ Moore, they don't really have any
Yes.
any weapons. I know Christian McCaffrey did practice this week. Um,
Mm-hmm.
But as far as his gameplay, I think he's still questionable.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes with injuries, they let players get a couple weeks of practice before they play. Sometimes they just throw them right back out there. Um, but this is a game New England should win.
Yeah.
Uh, in my opinion, I just think New England is going to be a better team through all three
Mm-hmm.
phases of the game. I think their defense is going to be a little bit better. Um, Especially in the secondary. I think while there are some names in the Panthers secondary, I don't necessarily think that they've all played together. I know they just got Stephon Gilmore from the Patriots for
Mm-hmm.
like a pack of gum or something. Uh, but those guys haven't played together for very long, and a lot of times in secondary, especially when you drop back into zone, which Stephon Gilmore is a great press man corner, but he's not necessarily a great zone corner.
Yeah.
Uh, they struggle. They just don't necessarily know where some of the other guys are going to be. Just learning the system, and I think Bill
Mm-hmm.
Belichick will devise an offensive plan. Probably, in my opinion, the best way to attack this Carolina team: intermediate routes and screen passes.
Mm-hmm.
Get those big guys out in space because they're really effective against the run up the middle and kind of between the tackles. But if you
Mm-hmm.
can get those bigger guys out in space, get some movement up there, they're going to struggle. And I know Shaq Thompson is a really good linebacker. He's definitely somebody that they'll have to look out for over the middle of the field. But I think guys like Kendrick Bourne, just getting the
Mm-hmm.
ball in his hands and letting him make defenders miss.
Mm-hmm.
I think they will probably try to take some shots down the field with Nelson Aguilar. But Jacoby Myers, I think, is going to have a really big game for the Patriots. I just think
Okay.
intermediate routes, possession type receptions are just immediately we're going to look at him. The only thing that I think Carolina could really do to stop that would just be to assign Stephon Gilmore to Jacoby Myers. And he's like your game plan this week for Stephon Gilmore is just to make sure Jacoby Myers catches as few passes as possible. And that is one way they could take our top receiver out. But then you still have to worry about Hunter Henry, Jonnu Smith, Nelson Aguilar, and Kendrick Bourne all kind
Mm-hmm.
of on just like random assignments.
Yeah.
I don't know if New England's run game will be as effective, but I think that they will stick to it on a consistent basis,
Mm-hmm.
even if it's not necessarily overly productive. But I think New England wins this one. I think it's going to be relatively low scoring. I will say I know Sam Darnold is questionable.
Yeah, well, that's what I
Uh,
was going to get into. Is
I don't think it makes a difference.
see, I don't either. Their offense is obviously weakened without Sam Darnold, but that being said, that they have been really struggling now for a long time. I think
Yeah.
The Patriots defense is um, essentially average when it comes to yards allowed, but they're ranked eighth in points allowed per
Points
game,
allowed. Yeah.
um, and so
And that's usually
I
typical for Belichick defenses,
yeah,
I
I
will
agree.
say.
And so I think it's going to be a low scoring game, especially if PJ Walker is the QB.
Mhm.
And you already said it earlier, DJ Moore is really their only weapon. You can double team DJ Moore, and you're still going to
Mhm.
be fine offensively. Chuba Hubbard isn't Christian McCaffrey. He's a threat, but your guys' front line is significantly better than the Falcons' front line and should be able to
Mhm.
stop that Carolina Panthers offense.
Yeah.
I just think it's going to be a low scoring game, and it's the key for New England is taking care of the ball. Do what you need to do on offense, and slowly move the ball down the field because you are going to have times when you punt because this Panthers defense is good, but
Yeah, yeah.
if the Patriots can take care of the ball, I think with PJ Walker in the backfield and also even with Sam Darnold, there's going to be mistakes made. It's not they're nowhere near as dynamic with Christian McCaffrey
Mhm.
still hurt. When and it really shows the value that Christian McCaffrey has uh,
Oh, yeah.
for the Panthers because when he's back there, it's like he's a jack of all trades. He can run in the backfield, he can catch in the backfield. You have to put a linebacker on him at all times, one linebacker at minimum, if not the safety or corner over top,
Yeah.
which opens up the field for DJ Moore, which then opens up the field for Robbie Anderson, Tommy
Yeah.
Trimble,
And
all the other guys.
it doesn't have it here, but I know Robbie Anderson, he took a big hit last week against the Falcons,
Hmm.
and I wanna say he was, questionable to play, but it doesn't have him on the injury report now, so,
Okay.
that is another thing to look out for. He has a lot of experience against the Patriots,
Hmm.
obviously being a former Jet. Um, but no, I think Carolina's path to victory, get pressure on Mac Jones, try and rough him up. He showed last week against Los Angeles that there were some plays that he didn't actually have pressure, but
Hmm.
after that first drive, I think he got hit once or twice, and he pretty much was, I don't say seeing ghosts the rest of the game, but was a little bit more on edge than we have
Hmm.
seen him in the past. And granted, he did have plays where he was totally fine, but
Yeah.
I think Carolina is definitely a team they can show pressure and then drop out of it with Shaq Thompson. I think that's how they're going to win it defensively. Make Mac Jones make mistakes,
Hmm.
for try and force a fumble, see if they can get a turnover on a short field. Because, like you said, I think this is going to be a low scoring game. I think it's going to be hard to put together those 10, 11 play drives, and
Yeah.
I think Carolina, they're going to win this game as like a grinder, kind of what they did to the Falcons last week. So
Yeah.
it'll
Hmm.
be interesting. I'm excited for it as a Patriots fan. This is the game that I'm going to be watching. Um, but yeah, do you have any final thoughts?
No, I agree. I think the Patriots are going to win. It's they'll probably cover the spread. I can see them winning by a touchdown, 17-10,
Yeah,
maybe 20-10. But
yeah.
yeah, I
I
think
was
the
going to say
Patriots are going to
24
win
to
this one.
10 or 24 to 14.
Hmm.
I If Sam Darnold doesn't play, I could see it being a 24 to 20 type game.
Yeah,
Uh, But if PJ Walker plays, I think 24 to 10, 24-14 is probably where I would end up going.
that'd be fair.
So,
Yeah.
so yeah. But all in all, I think that's going to do it for this episode of the Tracy Take. If you have not already, please go ahead and like and subscribe. Leave a comment down below on who you think is going to win, and we will see you guys next time.